So yeah, so break statement we already discussed as part of switch. Okay, in each case, after finishing each case statements, you have to write the break statement. Case 2 break statement, case 1 break statements followed by break, and case 2 statements followed by break, like this. If you don't apply break statement in switch, the rest of other case statements are also going to be executed, right? So in the same way, we can also use break statement for loops also. Suppose see, loop you are executing, and based on some condition you want to stop the execution of the loop. Okay na? So it is executing, but based on some, I don't want, suppose see, that loop is expected to repeat some 1,000 times. Okay na? So but based on some condition, immediately if at all you want to stop that loop, then you can stop that loop. Then what is the advantage of that one? Means suppose see, you have a list of some 1,000 employees. Okay na? Based on the employee ID, you are trying to find out some specific employee. Okay na? So first employee you checked, you got the value. Okay, compared to the employee ID, no, second, third, fourth, fifth, like a 10th position you found the employee. Then means 10 times loop repeated. But still how many times it has to repeat? That as per your logic, 990 times. So even after finding your employee also, still you continue for 990 times, you are unnecessarily wasting your server time. Your requirement is done, then just simply stop that loop. Why you unnecessarily continue the looping, right? So break statement is used to stop a loop based on a condition. Okay, you need to specify some condition, so then you can apply the break statement. Okay, so that is the, whenever you want to stop a loop based on some condition, you can apply the break statement. Otherwise, unless suppose after fulfilling your requirement also still you continue looping, that means unnecessary server time is wasted. So right, say whatever the application you are developing, okay, so server level, if you are unnecessary wasting time, that time can be given to some other request also. Multiple users will communicate with your application, right? So not only you are the single user. Okay, so multiple users are trying to communicate unnecessarily. You should not waste the time. Once your requirement is fulfilled, just simply that give that response back to the customer, or sorry, user. Okay, so that is the reason, right? So break statement. Next, continue also we will discuss. Okay, in which case we will use. First we will see the example of this break, then we will go for continue. Okay, so now earlier we found we have written a program to check whether given number is prime number or not, right? Okay, so given number is prime or not. So at the time, what did we discuss? So if a number has only two factors, one and itself, then we can say it as a prime number, right? So if a number has only two factors, suppose if it is divisible by only one and itself, then it is called prime number. 5 is there, it is divisible by one and itself, and 7 is there. So no other can divide it one. So one and itself, 7 only it can divide that number. Okay, if you take 8, it will be divisible by 1, 2, 4. So we cannot call it as a prime number. Even 9 also it is divisible. So like that I need to check. So in this case, how can I use this break statement, we will see. Okay, so now let's create some different sorry, different program. Okay, so prime or not, this can be used with while loop, do while loop, for loop, any loop you can use. Okay, not only for loop. So break statement. Okay, so now I'm entering one number. Okay now, so we need to take one variable to find the factors. Okay now, factors count, ctors factors count also not needed as per our logic. Okay, then what I'm taking is number I. Okay, so I'm starting with 2. Okay, I is equal to, I will tell you why I is equal to, so I declare I only. So enter any number, we are reading I. Just remove all this stuff from here. Okay, so we need to check our requirement is, you have number, now you need to check for I is equal to, anyway 1 is there. So what if it is a prime number, 1 and itself only it is divisible, right? If any other number is coming and dividing that one, then we cannot say it as a prime number, right? Okay, just a minute. So if you keep one and number itself, if any in between, suppose I have taken 5, I am 1 and 5. If you keep aside, the middle numbers are there, right? 2, 3, 4. Okay, now. So if any other number divides that number, okay, it's not a prime number. Third factor also will is coming to enter, right? So I'm starting with 2. Why? Because anyway, always itself and 1 can divide, right? I is equal to I less than number, even less than number also. Okay, let's, okay, for now without confusion, and I plus plus. Okay, so I am removing and I am eliminating one and itself. Okay, now if any other number comes, means suppose if number percentage I, sorry, I double equal 0 means we got the third factor. Okay, so simply you can apply the break statement. Okay, break statement. So you can take one boolean variable for avoid confusion. So boolean is prime. I am taking it as always true only initially, but if some other factor has come, then I am making it as is prime false is equal to false. I am asking why, because I will explain you with example. Just here you can check if let me get this stuff from here. Unnecessary copying. Typing here, what you can do, so take that variable here. You don't need to is prime, don't write double equal to true. You don't need to write, already it contains boolean value, right? True or false, directly you can write. If that is true, that number is a prime number. When the variable itself is boolean value, while checking the condition double equal to true, you don't need to write. Okay, now just simply, so if that value contains false, then it will come else part, and number is not a prime number. Okay, so prime, so I will explain you the case. Okay, now prime number. So let us take, okay, so how break is helpful here. I am taking number as 5 only. Okay, so 5. So generally what are the factors? 1 and 5 if it is a prime number, right? So I am 1 I am leaving, and number itself also I am leaving. See, I less than number means from 2 it will start. Okay, na, and less than one value till that point it will increase, right? Okay, na, I less than number, at that time only it will enter here, means up to 4, 2 to 4 means, okay, that range. If any middle number except 1 and itself, if any other number is coming and dividing that number, then third factor is entered, right? So when third factor is means our, as per the prime number rule, so it should have only 1 and itself. So 1 and itself I kept aside, but still I am checking for some next number onwards, second number onwards, and one number less than that number. Okay, now if any other number divides that number, it's not a prime number. So in case of 5, so it starts with 2. 2 less than 5, condition is true. Here it will check. I value is 2. 2 less than 5, condition is true. It will enter into here. So number is 5. 5 percentage to double equal 0? No, 5. 2 cannot divide the 5, right? So then it will go here again. I plus plus. I becomes 3. So 3 less than 5, condition is true. Okay, na? So again it will enter into here. So 5 percentage 3 double equal 0? No, it will not divide. Again it will go I plus plus. I becomes 4. 4 less than 5, condition is true. Okay, na? So this will become 4 less than 5, condition is true. Again it will come here, and it will substitute number value as 5 and I value as 4. 5 percentage 4 double equal 0. So 4 also cannot divide 5. Again condition false. Okay, it's not entering. You have to observe here. It's not entering into this one. Next, I plus plus 5. The moment when I value became 5, I plus plus 5, 5 less than 5, condition false. It comes out. So initially we declared it as true, prime. If it had entered into this one, it would have become false, but no other number between after 1 and less than 1 number, okay, to the given number, no other number could divide this number. So means there is no other third factor. So that is the reason why if it is prime, number is a prime number. else it's not a prime number. Suppose if you take 4 itself here, okay, in case of 4, okay, 1 and itself I am removing, means already I value 1 we are keeping aside. Why? Because 1 absolutely divides and 4 also divides. Next I am checking with 2 and 3 in between values, okay. So the moment when you come here, 2 less than 4 condition is true, here it will happen, okay. So when you come here, so 4 percentage to double equal 0, yes, condition is true. So means is prime is equal to false. Now I came to know that the number is not prime. So why you unnecessarily again repeat the loop? Just break that loop, okay so why? Because third factor also entered now, okay so third factor is means more than 2 factors. More than 2 factor means not a prime number. Just simply break the statement, don't repeat, break, okay. Then simply it comes out and it will check is prime. Already we started with false, right? So that this will become false. So already it prime, that value contains false. If a false means this condition will become false, it will come out to outside else part and it will display is not a prime number. So please let me know if you are confused here, anyone has any confusion, okay. Since earlier whatever the program we have written, in that program we try to count every time whether it is a prime number or not, we try to count total number of factors, okay I is equal to 1, I less than or equal number, I plus plus, we took one count variable like this, okay so every time when number divides, that one count plus plus. After suppose when 1003 is there, 1003 prime or not I want to find out, okay so what we did at that time, so for I is equal to 1003 times we repeated that loop and we found out the total factors count. And after coming out from that loop, we were checking like if count double equal to, it is the prime number, otherwise not a prime number. But what if any other number in between divides? Unnecessary, you are wasting the processor time, right? Just simply apply the break statement based on some requirement. So my condition is met. With this statement, I am able to decide whether this is not a prime number. So don't repeat loop again. It's a time wasting. So just simply apply the break statement. Whenever the break is executed, it immediately stops the loop execution and comes out here and it will display the prime or not. So this is simple thing, okay. So this is about break statement. Let's me execute this, okay. Statement.java. So all files, save, okay, go to terminal. So clear this. So java c break statement dot java. So okay, I have not used slash, that is the reason why it's giving here commenting. It's I have not commented, right? That is the reason why. Again compile. So is prime is equal to spelling wrong, false is missing, okay. So compile successfully. So java break statement, okay. So I want to check 101 is prime or not. 101 is a prime number, okay. Next some 9 is not a, right, is not a prime number. So we are avoiding the unnecessary repetitions, okay. Even you can also include one more condition after the half. Suppose if you take any number, in that number half of that number, right? So after the half of that number, no other number is going to divide that number, okay. If you take number, suppose if you take 100, it will be divisible by up to 50 only, from 51 to this number, okay no other number is going to divide, right? Okay, so you can apply this logic also. So up to half only you try to, before from 2 to up to half of that number, if any other number divides that number, then it is like a not a prime number. So otherwise in prime number case also, right, if you don't apply number by 2, suppose 101 I have entered, right? So it is going to repeat 100 times. I am taking I is equal to, in non-prime number case it will, sorry, prime number case this will not become, right? But keep on repeating until the number I becomes 101. So to avoid that one, why? Because 101 means after half of the number, any number you take, after half of the number, any no other number is going to divide that number. Better, that is the reason why I am applying some other. I can avoid in prime number case, I can avoid some other loops by taking this condition, simply applying this one. See how many number of repetitions are avoided here, okay. So like this, okay. So this is about break statement. So break and another one is continue. So break, what is the purpose of the break? Break is used to stop entire loop, okay so based on some condition. So when we met some condition, so I don't want to furtherly continue the execution of the program, so then we can use this break statement. Okay, so I'm checking some condition. So if that condition is satisfied, so then we are immediately breaking that loop and coming out and checking. Okay, for that example we have seen whether given number is prime or not. So in case of prime or not prime number program, okay, so one end itself we are keeping aside, the other any other factors are there we are trying to find out. So if any other number apart from one end itself, that is the reason why we are starting from 2. Okay, and apart from itself no other number after the half of that number can divide that number, so that is the reason why we are taking number by 2. Okay, so if any other number divides in between from 2 to half of that number, then it's not a prime number. Third factor will come, right? Okay, so then we are breaking and we are deciding this one. So this will save the performance, means time, your application time, because once you met that some condition, then you got your requirement, so you don't need to continue the loop, so you can simply break. Okay, so this is break statement. So what is meant by continue? Continue, break, it completely stop the execution of the program, but continue statement is used to skip particular iterations of a loop. Okay, particular repetitions of a loop, you can say iterations or repetitions of a loop. Okay, suppose see, based on some condition at that time when some condition is met. Okay, so I don't want to repeat the loop, just I want to skip that particular repetition, then it will immediately go to the next iteration, so based on some condition. Okay, so break is used to stop the loop based on a condition. Whenever you apply the break statement, once break statement is executed, immediately it stops the execution of the uh, loop, whether it's for or while or do while, whatever the loop it can be. Okay, so when you use continue statement, so suppose 10 times that loop is repeating. Okay, you want to skip based on some condition, you want to skip 1 or 2 times. Okay, now you can skip, but rest of things are continued. Okay, our best example we will see here. Okay, so simply I can go and for to program execution it will be easy for you. Okay, so what we can, okay, we will try to display all odd or even numbers between 1 to, okay, let me write one program with that, with this help of this program. Import java dot util dot scanner. Okay, class continue statement. So in this public static void main args. Okay, main close, and immediately I'm closing the class. Okay, now so we will see. So I am taking some I, int I, comma some number. Okay, I want to display all even numbers between 1 to given number. Earlier we have discussed something in different way, right, by using if condition. Okay, see here, two ways I will show you. Okay, so first scanner s is equal to new scanner. So system dot in, this is completed, so enter any number. Okay, so system dot out dot println any number. Number is equal to s dot next int. So we are entering. Now I want to display using for loop. Okay, so I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to number. Okay, so I plus plus. So this is for loop. Okay, so inside this for loop I want to write some logic. So I want to display all even numbers, like I want to display all, let us assume I want to display all order, let us assume I want to display all odd numbers. So earlier how we did write the program, you can write like this. If I percentage to not equal to 0, if it is not divisible by, sorry, not equal, right? So not equal 0, then it is an odd number. If it is divisible by 2, then it is an even number. So like this, I want to display odd numbers. If it is not divisible by 2, then it is an odd number. So system dot out dot println. Okay, so so in this way you are going to display all the odd numbers between 1 to given number. Okay, so same thing you can also achieve by using, suppose see, if I percentage to I want to display some reverse condition will happen. Okay, so continue I want to use, if I percentage to double equal 0 in case of even number. Okay, what I'm trying to do is, okay, I'm writing what will happen, I will tell you. So this continue is part of only if statement. And okay, so now continue I have used it, right? See here, so if it is an even number, that should not be displayed, right? Suppose see, when suppose I is equal to 1, so I 1 percentage to double equal 0, condition is false, then this will not going to be executed. It will come here and it will display 1. Okay na? So here you will get 1. Next, I plus plus, okay, it will become I value becomes 2 here. Okay, it will check 2 less than or equal to, suppose let's assume I have given 5. Yes, condition is true. So I is 2, 2 percentage to double equal 0, yes, condition is true. So when this continue is executed, whatever the statements after that continue statement, maybe 100 statements are there as part of for loop, simply it's not going to execute that. Simply continue, whenever it is finds this continue, directly it will go and plus plus I plus plus, it becomes 3. Understood, right? So it skips the particular iterations of a loop, iterations of a loop based on some condition. When it is an even number, I don't want to furtherly, after if statement, some statement is there, right? Whatever the statements I have, I don't want to execute, I want to skip that execution. Okay na? So then when immediately from here it will go to here I plus plus, skipping that one. Next, whatever the statements, irrespective of whatever the statements you have written, just I want to skip those. In that case, what you can use, you can use continue statement. So continue statement is used to skip particular. So now it is skipping, right? It, I don't want to even number. Okay, now I don't even number case, just skip that one and go for incrementing. Okay, I plus plus. Again, when it becomes 3, right? 3 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. 3 percentage to double equal 0, no. So then it will come here. Then after 1 it will display 3. Next it becomes I plus plus 4. So 4 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. But 4 percentage 5 double equal to 0, yes, condition is true. Then when condition, when continue statement is executed, immediately it will go for incrementing. It is not going to execute this statement. It's going to skip the statements. Any number of statements you write after this continue, those are all going to be skipped, but continue should be applied based on some condition. If you don't apply some condition, simply first line itself continue, if you write, right, all every time continue will be executed and you don't get any output. Okay, so this is the example of continue statement. I will show you one more also. Okay, so this is continue statement. Save this.
నా ఎల్స్ అవసరం లేదా అన్న దీనికి?
else అవసరం లేదు. So that is the reason, that is the advantage of continue. Okay,
Okay. So if we use continue, no need of else. But without continue, we should have else, right?
without continue, directly you can write like this, not equal to. If you want to display, I told you, right, not equal to, then this, try to write this and inside this here. So if it is not even number, so if it is an odd number, right, so suppose 1 is there, 1 is not divisible by 2, at that time it will display. Next, 3 is there, 3 percentage to not equal 0. Okay, then it will display like this. Okay, so continuous printing statement I'm writing outside if. Okay, so when if I percentage to double equal 0, simply it will continue, it's not going to execute the, it whatever the statement, simply it skips. In which case, if it is even number case, even number is right, I want to skip. Odd numbers I want to display. If it, when it becomes even, I don't want, just I don't want to go for execution of these statements, simply go and
So
execute this.
simply else condition will get skipped.
Else
Else condition will get skipped.
there is no use of my request. See,
No,
else
just
my
for the
request, see,
understanding purpose.
simply it will go directly, it will go here. Okay, so yeah, you can write, instead of write, you can let us assume you have written else statement. Okay, you can, if whatever you made, but intention is whenever your requirement is I want to skip the set of statements, okay na, based on some condition. So with one more example, maybe you may get some idea. Okay, so based on some requirement, some condition, so if that condition is met, I don't want to process that one. Okay na, so let us assume, let me give some other example. Okay na, which right now we cannot implement. You have some list of employees are there. Okay, so if list of employees are there, and what you want to do, you want to increase the salary, okay, by 10 percentage. Okay, so let us assume you have some department based on some, or whose salary is greater than 10,000. Okay, so whose salaries are multiple departments are there, some departments, okay na, finance department is there, some like the departments are there, right? So let's assume except finance department, for all other departments I want to increase the salaries. So what you can do, if department equal to finance, just you can write continue, means skip that one. The rest of incrementing logic you can write outside that one. Okay, so when it finds the department, suppose particular employee department is finance, then it will skip, it will go directly for checking for next employee. And if not finance, then it will come here, that logic will be applied, so in that way. Okay, so continue is used to skip repetition of specific iteration. It's not going to stop the loop execution. Break, it stops the loop execution, but continue skips the specific iterations. Okay, so I will show you one more example. Okay, but for, let me execute this one. Okay, so okay, Java C. Continue statement help. Okay, na. File not found. Okay, saved in some different location. File save as maybe. Okay, this path got um, where is downloads? Not downloads. This PC. Okay, so here programs, right? This folder. Okay, so here actually we need to save continue statement.java. All files. Now go and compile. Java C. Okay, continue statement.java. SCA and then three N's. Okay, instead of two N's, we got three N's. Okay. Compile successfully. Java continue statement. So enter any number. I'm entering 10. So 13579 displayed. It is skipped for all two. When it is two, when it is four, all cases it is skipped. Okay. So then simply continues use it to skip. Okay, so when it finds even number, simply it is not going for rest of the statements. Okay, you'll see we have not implemented else, but once in general if, right, after if is executed, it should come here and it should execute the rest of it. Why? Because this is not available in else part. But instead of continue something else, if you write any other statement, you write, that will be executed based on the condition, and then it will come here and it will display this also in generally. But since you mentioned continue, when it finds continue, it's not going to execute the rest of statements. Simply it will go for incrementing that and skips the other statements whatever is present. Next, I want to display all the alphabets. Okay na, uppercase and lowercase alphabets. Okay, so capital A to capital Z, small a to small z. How can you display? So how is it possible to display? So are you going to write to 20 println statements, or 26 plus 26? Okay, na? So it's 52 println statements. No, it's not like this. Do you have idea about ASCII? So just you see. So ASCII values. capital A to Z and small a Z. So inside the computer, see, everything is represented inside in form of ones and zeros, right? Okay. So ones and zeros only. So if it is number, it can convert it into some one and zero binary format, right? So every character on the system or keyboard, whatever you see, which is associated with some other number, representation of some number. So capital A starts with 65, capital B 66. So from capital A to capital Z, so 65 to 90, all come under capital alphabets. Okay, na? So small a, it is starting from 97 and small z 122. So it is like this. So now how I am going to display, let's see here. Same thing what I am going to use. I am starting with I65. Okay, na? I want to 65 means why? Because capital A starts from 65. I less than or equal to, I don't want to read anything from keyboard. Why? Because I know just I want to display capital alphabets and small alphabets. Okay. Scanner also I don't need. Why? Because I'm not going to read any input. Okay. Okay. Scanner is not needed. Okay. 65 to what is the upper range? 122. Okay. So if you observe here, so is that okay? So this full form is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. This is the one. So whatever the operating systems, either it is Windows or Linux or Mac, they have to follow this one actually for representing all the characters. Wherever the operating system you use, so that A is represented as 65 internally. It's a character, right? Like every character, semicolon also there is some value. Like dot also some other in number value. Okay, na? So like this. There are 255 or 256 like that. Okay. So see here like this, right? Let me first of all display all, later I want to display. Okay, let's assume for I is equal to from 1 only I want to display. See, first of all we will see, I think 255 characters, I think so. Okay, so I don't want this one. Okay, continue, I will explain later. First let me, I want to display all the symbols. Println, so this is integer, right? To convert okay, char of I. So you are converting that integer form to character form on it. So it automatically display, instead of displaying number, that respective symbol it will display. Okay. So now save this, and I want to display both value number plus some space respective character. I want to display. When I say I means that the integer value will be displayed, space, okay, then respective character will be displayed. Okay, so let's go and execute this one. Here and recompile since we made some modifications, right? So Java C. Okay, now execute this program. Continue statement. Okay, see here. So maybe some, for one also there are some characters that invisible characters when we display. See 26, some symbol like this is displayed, right? Respective others also going to have some symbols, but that cannot be seen. Means right now we are unable to see as part of this monitor. But see 33 exclamation mark, 34 double quotes, 35 hash, so $36, 37 percentage, 38 ampersand symbol, 39 single quotes, 40 open brace, 41 closed brace, 42 star symbol. So plus is for 43, 44 for some comma, 45 for minus. So like this, see. So zero number numeric values, right? So 48 to 57 are the numeric. Okay, that is 0 for 58, 48. Okay, na? So these are the representation. Okay, so like this, if you see capital A 65 and capital Z, if you see here 90 is the capital Z, and if you go for small a starts with from 97, and small z if you go with okay 122. Okay, so this is the, so this is the range. So what I am doing, I am declaring like this. So I is equal to 1, not 1. From 65 I am taking. Okay, and I less than or equal to 122. Capital Z is 1, small z is 122, right? Okay, so then I plus plus. But 65 to 122, apart from capital and small, suppose if from 90, where is that? 91 to, if you observe, see, 91 to 96, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The six characters are some different. Those are not alphabets and right, uppercase or lowercase things. I want to skip those. So then how can I do from 91 to 96? So I want to skip. So how can you write that condition here?
Break.
Simply, if simply here, if I greater than or equal to 91 and okay na, so I less than or equal to what is that number, let's check, 91 to 96 in that case. Okay, 96. Okay, so this is the range value. In this range time I don't want to perform any operation, just skip that one. So simply you write continue statement as part of this one. So somewhat now it's somewhat better compared to earlier understanding of. So 91 to 96, actually those are not uppercase letters, lowercase letters. So in this case, don't perform, go for execute this statement. Don't do this statement. Simply continue. Means from here, it's instead of coming these lines, then simply it will go and increment the I value. And I want to display whether it is uppercase or lowercase also, right? So capital A, capital B, capital C, like that I want to display. Still you can apply some other condition. Understood, right? My requirement. So if I greater than or equal to 65 and I less than or equal to 90. From 65 to 90, what is that? These are the uppercase letters, right? So what I want to do here is, so capital A, capital word I want to display. Before that, I don't want to display a number here. Okay, so capital followed by A you will get. So 65 to 90, if it is not, the what other rest you will get? So you will get lowercase letters only, right? Small a, small b, small c. Okay. Just under to differentiating capital A, capital B, capital C, small a, small b, small c. For that purpose, this if else I am writing. Okay. So now these are the small. Okay, small char of I, capital char of I. Okay, so this word in front of that character, this word will be displayed. So I am saving from 91 to 96. I don't want to execute these lines. Simply from here, here itself, just here itself, go to here I plus plus. Skip that rest of the statement. Skip. Okay. So now clear and recompile the program. Continue statement Java. Okay, so continue statement. See here. So capital A, capital B, capital C, capital C until capital Z we got, and immediately small a, small b, small c, small d. Okay, but even in the in meantime also there is a chance of I is becoming. So after 90 means capital Z is displayed, I also becomes but 91, right? So 91 to 96. So in those cases we are not getting. If you remove this condition, right, you will get those characters also. So if I comment this one, okay, see here at the time we are not, for 91 to 96 also you will get, right? So at the time also it will continue here. Okay, so let's recompile. Executed. So continue statement. See, capital A to capital Z displayed. After that also, see, simply I have written small. These for these special characters also, it is going to else part and displaying small, small symbol, small, small, small. But that is also included as part of this output. Since we removed this one, commented this one. Okay, now uncommenting. So in this way, so in our application, wherever you want to, in your code base, wherever you want to skip some rest, some set of statements or some specific iteration, so then you can use this continue statement. Okay, so any doubt here, please let me know if you are unable to understand. So this is how we implement continue statement. Depends on your requirement. Use this. So break we finished. Break stops the loop immediately. Okay na? irrespective of how many number of times it's going to be repeated. Suppose it has to repeat suppose 100 times, but based on some condition from second time or third time itself only you are trying to break the statement. Okay, na? Immediately it will stop execution of the loop. But whereas in case of continue, it will not stop the execution of the loop, but it will skip the particular repetition of the loop. So that is the difference you have to uh, okay, observe that. Okay. So this is break and continue we discussed. Okay. So up to now we have discussed basic programs, and coming to control statements. So if else, nested if else, else if ladder we discussed, switch also we discussed, ternary operator we discussed, next loops also we discussed, while loop, do while loop, for loop we discussed, break and continue also we discussed.